Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. As you can see from the title, in today's video we are going to be testing the brand new YOUTOPIA palette from Beauty Bay. This is part of their summer collection. It is part of their mini 8-pan palette range. You can see we have some lovely tropical vibes going on. It's very summery. It's come out at the perfect time. The sun is finally coming out and we're going to be doing a rainbow look today because we kind of had to with this palette. I'm going to be doing this in my usual format. All of the timestamps will be in the description box down below. So let's get into it. Just realized I showed you guys the palette the wrong way around, so let's actually get into it now. So this is the brand new YOUTOPIA palette from Beauty Bay. As I said, this is part of their summer collection. This feels like one of their most extensive collections so far. It's got some really interesting new additions that I didn't actually end up picking up because I didn't feel like I need them. We do have a water activated eyeliner palette, which is a product that they haven't done before that I did think was really interesting. Definitely a great move for them at the moment because water activated liners are very popular. We have 4 pigment pots. They look like Colourpop Super Shock shadows. None of the colours were really speaking to me, so again I've given that a miss. And then we have a lip gloss trio, and those are the products that I was most interested in, but you can't buy them as singles, you have to buy them as a trio, and I only wanted one, so yeah, I've skipped that and I've only gone for the palette. So this palette is the same format as the Pastels palette that came out last year. You can see that we actually have pretty similar colours to the Pastels palette, but it's just a brighter, more neon version of it. And price and weight wise, we are looking at the exact same thing. This is £10 for 8 shadows, which all contain 1.5 grams. Beauty Bay always have really decently sized eyeshadow pans, and the cost per gram is 83p per gram. Now that is pricier per gram than most of Beauty Bay's other eyeshadow palettes. This is to be expected because smaller eyeshadow palettes do tend to be less good value for money compared to the bigger ones, but you are just getting a smaller curated palette that is extremely travel friendly. I mean, I know we're not traveling at the moment, but if you just wanted to slip this into your makeup bag, your handbag, whatever, it's really not taking up too much space and you're just getting this lovely collection of bright colors. In terms of the packaging, it as always came in a cardboard box and then it was wrapped up with bubble wrap on the inside, so you do know with Beauty Bay that your eyeshadow palettes are very well protected. The ingredient list is only on the box and not on the palette, so do keep hold of that if you need to. You know, maybe just take a photo of it. It might just be easier because the box is huge because it's got the bubble wrap on the inside. Just in terms of other information that we get on here, we have the shelf life after opening, which is 12 months. We also know that the palette is cruelty free and vegan, which obviously is great. And it does also say that some colors contain pigments and that according to US law, that may not be considered suitable for use on the eye area. We know at this point that in the EU and in the UK, this is not considered an issue. This is specific to US law. I've obviously used these on my eyes today. I'm absolutely fine, but I think that these definitely are all pressed pigments because as you can see, they are pretty bright. It's been a while since I filmed a review and I can't remember if I normally give any other details. I don't feel like I do. I feel like we've basically already covered it all. I mean, yeah, I guess this is what the inside looks like. I've already shown it to you several times. Just a super bright color scheme, giving us very tropical vibes, and also we do have a mirror, and yeah, I guess that's it, and we should probably just go straight into the swatches. I do quite like reviewing smaller palettes because the swatch part of it does go quite fast and is pretty easy. So let's start off with our top row, and our first shade is Halcyon. Then we have Bliss. Your classic neon pink. We've seen a million of them, but I still get excited when I swatch them because they always swatch so well. Then our next shade is Eden. Okay, I'm really confused by this right now because that's just come out and swatched really yellow. When I've used it on the eye, it came out really green, and I'm kind of confused by that. So that's interesting. Then next up we have Midsummer. This one feels like it's maybe pressed a little bit harder than the others. I feel like it picks up with a bit more difficulty. Then next is Dreamland. Oh, look at how much fallout there is from this one. There is a lot of fallout in this palette. I don't recommend doing your foundation first with this one. And then our orange is Blaze. Again, so much fallout, that's insane. Finally, our last 2 shades are Serene, which is a dark purple. So much fallout with every single one of these, except the red basically. And then lastly, Paradise. I mean, these swatches swatches are very nice, aren't they? Very, very exciting. I feel like these are some of the best swatches we've seen in a while, but if these are all pressed pigments and quite neon-y, you expect the swatches to be good, basically. Yeah, that is very satisfying. I think that looks lovely. And yeah, that is kind of all I've got to say. It's short and sweet for the swatches, but it is a smaller palette. So let's actually move on and show you how I got this look. All right, guys, I've got my Pink Honey and my P. Louise base on so that we can jump straight into the look. I'm a little bit worried that I'm starting to film later than I needed to because I do have work this afternoon, but we're gonna go with it. We're gonna see how it goes. Hopefully I manage to get this filmed. Anyway, the look that I'm gonna be doing today is gonna be a recreation of this look. It's absolutely stunning. I will have it linked down below. It is by someone called Tierney Note MUE. I'm really, really sorry if I've butchered your name. It's one of those names that I'm never sure how to say, so I do apologize, but I will have the original link down below. It's absolutely gorgeous. I feel like things look really bright on the camera at the moment. I don't know if it's just the monitor that's being that way. I hope you guys can see things properly, but I am using the exact same settings that I always use, so I don't know what's going on. Let's jump into the first shade, which is gonna be this one down here, and this is the shade called Serene. Oh, okay, it's picking up pretty well. I've taken a Morphe M433 for that, and we're gonna start on the outer portion of the eye. Now this is definitely more purple than what was used in the original look. It was definitely more of a blue, but we're going with what we have in the palette. So I'm just gonna have to take this up. We don't have any lighter shades to blend out with. We probably could get away with using the pastels palette with this, but obviously when doing a review, that's not the goal. So I'm taking it on a bit of an angle. I've brought it up. It seems to be packing on and blending pretty well, but I have a ton of fallout. Look at that. That is a lot. But yeah, it does seem to be blending pretty easily up here. It does also come underneath as well, so I'm gonna pick up some more and bring it out here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to lower this brightness, guys. I don't know what's going on because this is definitely the same settings that I have been using for months. I'm hoping this doesn't come out too dark or anything. We'll see. Yeah, okay, that's blended out absolutely fine. The pigmentation is lovely. Really no complaints on this first shade at all. Okay, next to that, I'm gonna blend with the lighter purple, which is called Dreamland. Can you guys see how messy this is already? This is definitely gonna be a very, very messy palette because these are really, really pigmented, but we like pigmented on this channel. The brush I'm using is a Zoeva 231, and I'm gonna pack that on. Okay, it seems to have gone a little bit patchy, but I'm going to add on some more, and that's going to go about halfway. The blending in between the two of them seems to be going pretty well. I mean, they are pretty similar colours. There's definitely a patch of colour where the shade kind of first caught onto the skin. Colour in the original look does go all the way up to the brow. I'm not going to take it just there quite yet. I'm just going to work on building the shape. Then next I'm going to go into the bright neon pink, which is called Bliss, which is coming out really light on camera. I really have no idea what's going on with the lighting today, guys. It seemed to do that over the last couple of days. I don't know if it's because the weather's warmed up or something and it's like a little bit sunnier. Anyway, just packing on the pink. That's going on beautifully, absolutely beautifully, no issues there. Beauty Bay do know how to make a neon pink and they blend in together really well. Like, I'm not even having to do any work really. I'm gonna come back over it in a minute, but it's very effortless. I would say it's easier to blend than the pastels palette. I think I should have actually taken that purple in maybe a bit more. I'm gonna go a bit further in with the pink. But yeah, very bright, packing on brilliantly. By the way, this is just another Zoeva 231. Not really any complaints so far. I'm just gonna go back in with a little bit of Dreamland. But it doesn't really need it. By the way, if you can hear lots of background noise, I do apologise. I've got my window open. It's not super warm just yet, but it's finally starting to warm up, and that means that with the studio lights, it's gonna get really, really hot in here, so I do have to open the windows. I am sorry. I'm gonna take another M433 by Morphe, and this time I'm gonna go into Midsummer, which is the red. I'd say that's the one that's picking up the least easily so far, so let's see what happens. Okay, I feel like this is the one where I'm kind of having to work the most just to get it packed on. And I would normally say, oh, it's because of the brush, but obviously I use the same brush at the back. So I just feel like it is the red. I'm gonna get it on the actual lid as well. Once it's packed on, it's absolutely fine, no issues there. It was just kind of the initial packing on that took a second. But again, it's blending with the previous shade beautifully. Not really seeing any patchiness or anything. Yeah, that's really, really nice. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back into Bliss, but I'm gonna take a Morphe M456 and just really start blending that out. Yeah, they do blend out really nicely. I feel like you never know what you're gonna get with neons, if they're gonna be like really easy to blend or if they're gonna go patchy. And I think because the Pastels palette does go patchy, I was expecting that to maybe happen with this one. Not at all. They blend in great, they pack on great. That's blending out really, really well. Absolutely no complaints from me. Then I'm going to take a Morphe M514 for Dreamland. So again, just blending it high up. They just blend into each other so well. And this is going pretty quick as well. I've been filming for about 13 minutes. So it's a quick blend for me anyway. It's what I'd consider a pretty quick blend. Look at that, this is really, really nice. Okay, and then to blend out the end, I'm gonna take a Morphe M441, and this time the shade is gonna be Paradise down here. I mean, even on this big fluffy brush that normally doesn't pick up eyeshadow that well, that is picking up. Oh, okay. I'm gonna take my time here, I think. I feel like we're having some issues. I don't know if it's the shadow or the brush. I do find that these Morphe brushes lose their shape quite easily. Like, I'm sure you've heard a million people say that. I do buy these plastic brush guards. I get them on Amazon. They're dirt cheap and it helps to reshape them. Because I find that if I use them and they've not reshaped properly, they can be a bit funny. And I think that might be what's happening here. I should have used the smaller blending brush for this that I literally just used with the purple. Okay, actually I'm building it up. And it's blending now, and in fact it's creating a really nice shade of like a darker blue here. I think it's the brush that I'm having an issue with, though. I do think it is. I think it would be really nice to come in with the Pastels palette and bring in an even lighter blue and just like finish the blend here. I won't do it today because obviously we're reviewing this palette, but I feel like that would work really nicely. And then I'm just going to go back in with the brush that I used for Serene. I've not added any extra product, just trying to blend that out. I'm going to take a bit more of the blue. I'm just going to have to clean the underneath up when I do my concealer, so I will be doing that off camera. Yeah, I think it is the brush more than anything else. Do I have a different blending brush that I can finish this off with? Let's see if I just take a Sigma E36, which is a nice small brush. It's just got a bit more precision. Yeah, it just needs cleaning up underneath, but I think the issue there was the brush and it just wasn't quite shaped properly. And then I think I'm just going to take a bit more of Serene, especially underneath in the outer corner. It's just gotten lost a little bit. And then Paradise again on the E36. I think I need something more precise. I'm just going to take a clean Zoeva 231. And then some more of Paradise. Yeah, there we go. That's a lot better. Okay, alright, overall I am really, really happy with how that's looking. I do kind of wish I'd taken the pink a little bit further in at the front. I feel like it maybe looks a little bit less blended than the back does. Something looks a bit weird on this eye, but I think it's because I really need to pluck my eyebrows. I would say, you know, overall it does look nice. I am quite happy with it. Could the front be a little bit more diffused? I feel like maybe it could be. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's a bit nicer. Yeah, overall, really happy with that blend. I feel like I have tried to both pack the shadow on and blend it out, and I'm not really having any issues. I feel like they've blended in together really well. I was worried I might have some similar issues to the ones that I've had with the Pastels palette that can go quite patchy, but it does tend to be more on the lid, and I obviously haven't tried packing the colour on the lid there where I normally have the issues, but just in terms of blending it out on the crease, I'm pretty happy with that. I feel like they've blended in together pretty well. It was just kind of out here that I had the issue. Yeah, overall pretty happy with that. Quite a lot of fallout, but I feel like that was to be expected. So I am going to go and cut my crease. I'm going to go and put on a halo eye, and I'll be right back so that we can fill it in together. All right, so I've got my halo eye on. I used the white Pinot Noir paint today. I thought it would work quite well with the look. I have also grabbed my Pastels palette and my Bright Matte because I feel like we might need to use them, which you guys know I don't like to do, but we're just gonna see how it goes. So I'm just gonna start by blending out the edges, and I'm gonna start off with Paradise on that Sigma E36 again. And then I'm just gonna take that Zoeva 231 I used earlier and go back into Serene and just kind of blend on top. And then back into Paradise. Okay, that's not really blending out right now. I think the Sigma E36 might maybe be a little bit too soft for this. I feel like it's getting there, it just needs a little bit of work. Okay, right, that seems okay. We're gonna leave that there for now. On the other side, I'm running out of small brushes. On the other side, I'm just gonna go back into the red, which is Midsummer, and it definitely struggles to be picked up, even on this brush, so it is definitely the hardest shade to pick up. Cool, okay, that works. So next to it, I'm now gonna go into the shade Blaze. I'm just gonna take the same brush. Wow, this one is really, really pigmented. Don't know why I'm surprised sometimes with these things when it comes to Beauty Bay. I'm just gonna get rid of the creasing. So I'm gonna pop that next to the red. Okay, wow, that is really pigmented. I'm wiping the pigment off with the brush because there's just so much left on it. And then I'm gonna go back into Midsummer. And I think we're gonna struggle to blend a bit here because the orange is so pigmented and the red isn't. There we go, okay. All right, get in there. Okay, they're blending. Okay, that's looking nice. Now picking up a tiny bit more of the orange, but when I say a tiny bit, I mean that because it really doesn't need a lot. Do I have a Zoeva 231 left? I do. Okay, this is where it gets a little bit difficult on this side. We have two greens and we have no yellow. And I mean, I'm looking at this green over here, which is Halcyon. Is that how you say that? And if I'm honest, I think that this green looks like it belongs more in the Pastels palette. No, I'm gonna go into Eden. I'm really unsure about that lighter green. Ah, there we go. Okay, yeah, that's what I needed. Still pretty pastel-y. Like, it's kind of in the middle, isn't it? It looks like it could be either in a neon palette or in a Pastels palette, but the other one just looks way too pastel-y, and I really feel like it belongs in the Pastels palette, not in this one. Oh, this one is really cool. Actually, that's a really interesting shade of green. I do like that. I'm gonna take a clean Sigma E36, I think, because the other one is covered in Serene, and I'm gonna take some more of Paradise. God, basically I just keep adding too much pigment because these shadows are just so pigmented. And then I'm gonna take a tiny bit more of Serene. I really feel like I should be learning these shades' names at these points because I've had to say them so many times. And then Paradise. And then Eden. Yeah, this bit is taking a lot of delicate blending. Also not quite taking them at the same angle, so I think that I need to take Eden at more of a diagonal. Okay, so in the middle we do have some yellow, and there just isn't a yellow in this palette. So I think I'm gonna have to take the Bright Matte palette. Yeah, I think the bright matte palette will work. If you guys can see what I'm doing, I'm gonna take Hello Sunshine, and then I think in the middle I might take Custard Cream. What brush am I using for this now? I have no idea. I think, actually, I might take a flat brush first. I'm gonna pop Custard Cream on. Okay, she's gonna need packing on, but I'm gonna pop it on in the middle. Yeah, you guys know that I don't really like bringing in other palettes when I'm doing a palette review because I feel like I should only be using the one that's there. But you need all the colours in the rainbow to do a rainbow look, and we're missing one. I feel like I am justified. So basically covered the whole surface, and now I'm going to switch into Hello Sunshine, and I'm going to blend. You know what, actually we're going to get to see how this palette works with other Beauty Bay palettes, and this is looking pretty promising. I'm going to blend on the other side. That's working really well. I'm gonna join them a bit more in the center. I feel like we just haven't got the same angle on either side of the halo, which I feel like is something that happens to me all the time. But in terms of blending with the orange, absolutely fine. No blending issues there. Blending with the green also seems fine. So I can definitely say that these palettes work really well together. I'm adding some more of the lighter color in the middle. And then I think I'm going to go back in with a little bit of Eden. Let's see if we can kind of correct that angle. And then I do feel like I need a little bit more of Paradise down here, just for that blend. Yeah, that halo is looking really nice. This is why recreating looks by other people is great, because you do things that you maybe wouldn't have thought of by yourself, and you get this, and this is absolutely stunning. Just gonna take a bit more of the orange as well on this side, and then blend out with some more of the yellow, and then just blend out with the brush I used for the red. Okay, really happy with that. I feel like I need just a little bit of blending with Serene there at the back. I feel like if I am having a struggle anywhere in this look, it is with the purple and the blue. But out of the whole look, if that is my only struggle, I'm not gonna complain. I'm not gonna complain. I'm just going back in with a little bit of Custard Cream. Literally just finishing off that blend. But yeah, yeah, wow, I am super happy with how this is looking. All right, I'm just gonna go and do the halo on the other side, figure out the lower lash line, and then I'll be right back and we will get this finished up. All right, the other eye is done, so we can jump back into this one and finish it off, and it's gonna be pretty simple. The lower lash line is just gonna start off with Serene. This time I've got it on an M506, which is just a bit more precise, and that's just gonna go along the whole lash line. And then I'm going to take Paradise on my E36 again, and I'm going to blend out, focusing more on the outer half. For a light blue, that one is a very pigmented. Like, it does end up covering a lot of Serene when I just want it to blend it. So I've just gone in with a bit more of Serene and then just grabbed the E36 again. And then I am just gonna grab the big Morphe brush, the M441 I think it was, and blend all along, but this is just more to soften it out. This has definitely gone way too low down over here, so again, I will just be kind of cleaning all of that up. But that is just the shadow, and I think it looks really nice. I'm very pleased with how it's looking. Just a couple of finishing touches. You can see I've just added a little bit of liner. So Inglot gel liner, just on a really thin brush. Really nothing complicated here. It's probably a little bit thicker than I wanted it, but it's fine, it doesn't matter. And then for the waterline, I'm gonna use the shade Fresh from LA Girl. I feel like I'm using this one quite a lot at the moment, but I think out of all their neon liners, it's kind of the only one I like. It's definitely the one that works best. The other ones are just too dry. And then to finish off the look, highlight, add some glitter. It's gotta be my Pixie liquid eyeshadow in Crystalline, because I'm obsessed with it. I'm gonna lift the product off on a Nancy tapered crease brush for the inner corner and pack it on. I love how glittery this is. I really, really like this one so much. Definitely an all-time favorite product. And then same product, but this time a Morphe M508. And I'm gonna pop it on the brow bone. Just make that part a little bit more exciting. I think it might have just lifted off a little bit of the colour. Oh no, oh no. It went so well. It didn't do it on this side, but it has on this side, so that's fun. So I've just ruined the look. There we go. All right, anyway, guys, that is it for the eyes. What do we think? I really, really, really like it. I'm really obsessed so far. I'm gonna go and do the rest of my face, and when I come back, we're gonna have a chat about the palette. I'm gonna tell you my final thoughts, and yeah, that's basically it. So I will be back in just a second. All right, guys, here is the finished look, which I know you guys have already seen, but I do hope, as always, that you like it. Everything that I have used will, of course, be listed and linked down below, and there are affiliate links in there. They are very clearly marked so that you know which are which. You don't have to use them, but if you do, they do help support the channel, and when someone does use an affiliate link, I do get really, really excited. It just makes me really happy. So again, you don't have to use them, but if you do, just know that it is helping to support the channel. Anyway, I need to get into my final thoughts on this palette because I need to leave in about an hour. I still have to film the whole of the intro, the description, all of that, blah, blah, blah. It's gonna take me ages, so I really need to get through this. So let's try and be precise and to the point and go into my final thoughts on this palette. I originally saw this on Marion Camillion's stories. She posted it on Instagram and I was like, oh my god, that looks really cool. I received the palette yesterday, and when I opened it up to take a look at it, I kind of looked at it and went, oh, I'm not actually excited by this. And I was a little bit disappointed for a second. I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? The look that I had planned just wasn't gonna work anymore. But now that I've used it, I have to say I'm a lot more excited about it. I love how the look came out. I love how bright the colors are. In the crease along the brow bone, the shades were blending into each other really, really easily. I mean, it was a really kind of easy gradient from purple into red. So I would expect those colors to blend out pretty easily, but that was a really, really nice experience. The biggest issue that I had, I would say, was when it got to using Paradise. It was almost a little bit too pigmented. Like every time I tried to use it to just blend something else out, it was like covering it up, and there was a lot of back and forth, and I did kind of struggle on the outer portion of the eye. I did get there in the end though. I made it work. It was just a little bit of work, so I would say that maybe this isn't my favorite palette quality wise from Beauty Bay. I feel like some of their others are maybe a little bit easier to use, but I would also say that in terms of a first impression, it went a lot better than the one for the Pastels palette, because even though I love using this one for blending, it works great for that, for finishing off looks. Like I said, I think I could totally have paired them together and finished off the look on the outside with this one. I have real issues packing on shades with this one, and I think it's just the nature of the shadows, the pastels. Nothing like that happened with this one today, so I would say better first impression than the Pastels palette, but probably not my favorite. I feel like there are some Beauty Bay palettes that do work a little bit better. They're a little bit easier. Do I feel like you need this palette? I mean, probably not. If you already own all the other Beauty Bay palettes, I feel like you're probably starting to have a lot of shades in common across a few of them, but I do think that what is really nice is that it is a cheaper option. It's £10, it's good value for money, and obviously we're not traveling right now, but things are starting to get better. You know, if I was going on summer holiday and I wanted to take some colourful eyeshadows with me, I'm not going to take my Beauty Bay Bright Matte. That takes up so much space in my suitcase. However, I may well take my two little palettes like that. They're so tiny, they're very travel friendly, they're going to work really well together, so I think for that, brilliant. I think they would work really great for that. If I was really going to have one criticism about this palette, other than, you know, maybe being too pigmented, which whoever thought that would be a problem that we would have, it's the shade Halcyon that I have a problem with. It feels a little bit out of place, and I did just want to show you guys, if I just swatch it, if I also pick up Serenity from the Pastels palette, they're not that different. You can see, like, I would say that what is this? Wait, what? I've just realized that there is a shade called Serene in one of them and Serenity in the other. Serenity definitely a little bit more yellow, and also you can see that the one from the YOUTOPIA palette is a lot more pigmented. Other than that, yeah, good experience. Do I think this palette is a necessity? I don't at this point. If you do have a big eyeshadow palette collection, you probably have those shades in there. I think we all own a rainbow palette. I do really like the compact aspect of it. I think it would be great for traveling if we could travel. Yeah, it was a fun one. It's affordable. I just don't know how much I'm going to reach for it over, say, again, the bright matte because it has everything in there. But it's not a bad palette if you really want it. I can say that I'm happy to have purchased it. It's just a case of whether we actually need these rainbow palettes at this point or not. Anyway guys, that wraps up the rest of the video. I do hope as always that you enjoyed it. If you did, then do please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment and let me know what you thought of it. And if you haven't already, then do please make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye guys!